Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ballet Ready.
I'm quite sure every field of interest has its own very niche set of slang terms that could be completely incomprehensible to the average onlooker.
And the fact that we're here today making this video should be enough to tell you that the ballet world is, of course, no exception.
Growing up as dancers, we've definitely had our fair share of slang, niche terms, and other ballet shorthand that definitely would not make sense out of context. And so today we are going to be sharing them with you guys. It is your lucky day.
What a great time. We're super excited to help you guys level up your ballet nerdness by teaching you all some very niche ballet slang. And so if you guys are likewise excited, then hit the like button and let's get it. So, ballet slang, I feel like it's pretty regional.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like different dancers around the world have different slang terms for things.
But for this video, obviously, we're just sharing the slang terms that we've come across the most frequently
Ones that
in
we've
our
heard.
time in ballet. Anyway, the first one on the list of ballet slang terms is one we've actually been talking about a little bit more recently on the channel.
A lot recently, actually.
Yes, so this won't be much of a surprise to you, but that is marking, or when your teacher says, all right, let's mark. What is marking? Marking is basically, and we did a whole video, several videos on this concept. It's sort of a way for dancers to go through the choreography without doing it full out. So like not exerting full force and energy, but it's like sort of a smaller, compressed sort of mini version.
Like an abbreviated version of dancing.
Exactly.
So instead of dancing your combination, you would mark your combination, which means do it small.
Or you use your hands.
Or you use your
Or
hands.
arms.
And so usually marking would be used in the context of like, okay, let's mark it from the top.
Yeah, exactly.
Or let's just mark this section. Or this is just a mark, not
Yeah.
full out. Mark
Yeah.
and full out are usually like, they're
polar
opposites.
opposites, yeah.
You could do a full out run, or you could do a marked run.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Marking is applicable in both rehearsal settings and class settings as well. Like even if you're in class, just marking a combination, that's also applicable as well. So if your teacher or your director ever says, okay, let's mark, now you know what it means. Next one on the list is tech/dress. These are both short for technical rehearsal and dress rehearsal.
Yep.
Technical rehearsal or tech rehearsal means you're on the stage or like wherever you're going to be performing it in the venue itself. And just like the name suggests, your technical rehearsal is not just for the dancers, but it's also for the technical team. Any quick change team that you have backstage, sets and lighting, kind of your rehearsal to practice everything with the entire stage team.
Because to make a ballet happen is way more than just the dancers and the orchestra.
Yeah,
It's like lighting guy, the curtain people, the person that's like, all right, lights go and curtain go.
If there's any set changes, this is also for that
Yep.
as well. Dress rehearsal is like that, only different. Dress rehearsal is generally, it's like a show, but not the show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So dress rehearsal is like the whole shebang. You're in costume.
Yep. Full costume, full lights, music, sets, like polished show.
Yes.
You just don't have an audience.
Yes, unless it is a public dress rehearsal, which means you will have an audience. It's basically the show with the audience, except it's not officially the show.
That's true.
Yeah.
You could sell tickets
For
to
your dress
a
rehearsal.
dress
You could.
a public dress rehearsal.
Yes, you could.
Then it's like a show, but not.
Anyway, so that's kind of the difference between the two of them. Both are slightly different, although sometimes you can mush them together.
Then you have a tech dress rehearsal.
Yeah, tech dress rehearsal. So there you go. Tech rehearsal, dress rehearsal. Sometimes we'll just say tech dress.
Yeah, tech and dress.
Yeah, tech and dress. Critical point in time for the whole sort of creation process of a ballet.
Next on our list, we have pas. And this is very niche ballet shorthand.
Yeah.
It's actually short for pas de deux.
Pas de deux means dance for two or step of two, and it's usually referring to the male and female dancers dancing together. But we call it pas for short, which in actual translation does not make any sense.
It does not make any sense.
It makes no sense.
But dancers are very efficient people, you
Yeah,
guys.
so
And if we
efficient.
don't have to say the last two syllables, we won't.
won't.
And like, taking it a step further, we'll also abbreviate the full name of a pas de deux. Like for
Exactly.
instance, Romeo and Juliet's balcony pas de deux. You would just call it
Balcony-
R&J balcony pas.
Or just balcony.
Or
pas.
just balcony pas.
Yeah, because there is only one balcony.
Yeah,
pas.
exactly. And for the Sugar Plum Fairy and Cavalier pas de deux, we would shorten it to the Sugar Plum Fairy pas de deux, or then just the Sugar Plum pas de deux, then Sugar Plum pas, and then just Sugar pa.
For something like the Tchaikovsky pas de deux, we will just say Tchaik pa.
Yep, Tchaik pa, which makes no sense, but to us dancers, it does.
So that's a really extreme ballet shorthand that we use all the time, at least in America. I hear it a lot.
You'll hear it, let's mark it from the top of the pas.
Yeah, exactly. Or you're rehearsing the whole ballet. And, okay, let's skip to the pas.
I'll take these dancers in here, we'll rehearse the pas, and then we'll come back. Like,
yeah, exactly. It's thrown around a lot. It's used very casually. It makes zero sense.
No sense.
But
it's shorthand.
It's shorthand.
It doesn't have to make sense.
The next few are kind of under this umbrella of shortened ballet terminology. So like the names of actual ballet steps shortened or abbreviated to make them a little bit easier to roll off the tongue. I think one of the most popular ones that we hear a lot is entrechacat, shortened to cat. Or you have entrechatois, which is like kind of like an entrechacat, but you'll just call it toi.
Yeah.
Or entrechacinq. Cinq.
Yeah.
So then we have quatre, trois, cinq.
Yep.
That's the step.
And then the reason why is because if you're a ballet teacher and you're teaching a combination, usually you'll kind of scat it and talk through it with music. And so instead of saying tombe, pas de bourrée, entrechacat, it's better to just say tombe, pas de bourrée, cat.
Especially when, you know, the music's fast, when you're just trying to rattle it off quickly. It's just easier to say.
And trois, pas de bourrée, and cat. And
exactly. See, it's just way easier.
Dancers are not rappers. We cannot talk that fast.
We can't talk that fast, so we gotta be efficient.
Yep, save our syllables.
Another popular one is rond de jambe, whether it be en l'air or à terre, we'll just shorten it to rond.
Yes.
You'll hear that all the time with teacher giving a combination, and rond. Yeah, so that's the shorthand for that one.
We had a teacher that instead of saying tourgette, he'd call him TJ.
Yeah, TJ.
I always thought it was funny. So he'd be like, and pique, and chasse, and TJ.
Every teacher has their own sort of niche slang words, so you just gotta know your teacher to kind of know what they're talking about. This one is the best one, you guys. And don't ask me where this came from. Maybe you guys know. If you do, please let us know in the comments. The official name of the step is pique en dehors, or pique turn en dehors. Don't ask how this came about, but the slang term for the pique turn en dehors is lame duck.
Yep.
Lame duck. And I feel like this is a fairly universal thing too.
Yeah.
Like you'll hear lame duck everywhere. I have no idea where this came about.
To the point where when I learned the step,
yeah,
I learned it first as lame duck.
Yeah, and then we learned pique en dehors.
And then on my own research later, not even offered by a teacher.
Oh really?
On my own research later, I found out, oh, it's pique en dehors. Because everyone just called it a lame duck. It might have to do with the cadence, because you're like, and up, and up. And up, but
why lame duck specifically? I don't really know. But anyways,
it's not the proper term.
No, it's not. It's far from the proper term.
But it's memorable.
It is memorable.
It sure is memorable.
It is memorable.
Please drop your fun ballet term shorthand in the comments, because I'm sure y'all have tons.
Yeah, so many. We just know you do. So let us know in the comments. The next term that you'll hear a lot amongst dancers is the term dying or dead in reference to point shoes.
You'll hear it all the time, like, oh, my shoes are dead.
Yeah.
Or, oh, they're dying, or I think they're about to die.
Point shoes, in case you didn't know, they are not invincible. Yeah. They're made of plaster and glue and cardboard. Nowadays they have like more advanced ones as well, but most traditionally it's made of like pasteboard and glue and stuff like that. But anyways, they do break down, especially with moisture, sweat, just exertion and force. Yeah. And so our shoes do have I guess you could say a lifetime, a lifespan, and they do have a time of death. It's an inevitable part of a point shoe's life. So anyways, referring to a shoe as dead or dying basically means the shoe is breaking down or is broken down completely and is no longer safe to wear or use. Because
once they die too much, they don't give the dancer's foot the support that we need. And then it can start to be very, very dangerous because essentially you're going on your toes, but you have nothing to support the foot.
Yeah, exactly.
More pressure on the joints and the toes and the bones and everything.
So dead and dying shoes basically means your shoes are close to the end of their life. Yeah. They're breaking down, no longer supportive, time to get a new pair.
Yeah, and don't dance on dead shoes, dancers.
Please don't.
I know you didn't need to hear it again, but I'm saying it again anyways. Please. Change your shoes.
Sew that pair. Don't procrastinate.
Yeah, don't do it. I'm talking to myself. I have 2 pairs of shoes and both of them are so dead right now, you guys. I'm such a hypocrite for telling you guys this.
Mine are dying, but they have quite a few hours of wear left, I think.
Hopefully after filming I can actually get to sewing a new pair. Hold me to it, you guys.
Leave a comment below, say please, Ballet Range, sew your shoes. We both need to sew shoes. Anyway.
next slang term on this list is pretty iconic.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the most slangy ballet slang terms.
And also the oldest slang term, I think, in ballet.
It is profanity, and that is the term merde. Although in the context of ballet and stage life, it's not necessarily supposed to be profane. It's supposed to be more affectionate and well-wishing before a show.
The context matters. Don't go throwing that word out just anywhere. This is specific to backstage or like before a show, that kind of
Waiting
deal.
in the wings. Yeah. You've hugged all of your fellow performers, and you're like, all right, merde.
Yeah, exactly.
So the translation of merde from the original French, I believe it translates to, we'll put the emoji here. And I feel like there are quite a few different theories as to where merde originated in terms of pre-show well-wishing.
Yeah.
But the theory that I grew up learning and that you grew up learning was that back in the day, when you had a ballet performance, if a lot of people came to watch your show, obviously there would be a lot of horse-drawn carriages and thereby a lot of horse stuff.
And so when wishing, you know, the dancers good luck, you would tell them merde, meaning there's a lot of people coming to see you with evidence outside.
So do well!
So do well. Yeah, exactly. So that's the theory that we grew up learning. Basically, in stage life, when you hear merde or when you say merde, it basically means good luck, wishing you well, have a great show, all of that kind of thing.
The audience is excited to see you, and so am I.
Like that type of exactly. So it's an affectionate term. There's absolutely nothing wrong with saying it backstage. Just maybe be careful if you take it anywhere else.
Last one for today's list is probably, I think this is the most universal.
Yeah, I think so.
I think you will hear this, or at least we've heard it from every single teacher, instructor we've ever had.
Yeah, 100%.
From schools to summer intensives,
directors, multiple companies. You'll hear it on YouTube, and literally any teacher you watch.
And that is the term and five.
In context, and five is short for and 5, 6, 7, 8. Generally used for like counting in your cue, which of course is shortened to just and 5. But I think more than just being a countdown for the music to start, I think and 5 has just become a universally acknowledged way to say go.
Yeah, that's in ballet. Like the teacher will give the combination and they'll say, are we clear? All right, and 5. And then they'll hit start on the music. You might have a pause while the pianist gets started, but the teacher will always say, all right, and 5. Sometimes can even be shortened to just and.
Oh yeah, and.
4 counts, and.
Here we go, and.
And.
Ali, and.
Thank you. And.
I feel like most teachers aren't even really aware they do it.
No, not at all. I think it's a cultural thing. I know I do it whenever I teach.
Yeah.
We had a teacher, he was one of our favorite teachers of all time growing up. He would always say, 5, and he would spend like 10 or 15 seconds trying to get the music track going, and then 15-20 seconds later the music actually starts. So it's less about counting you in, it's more about telling you get ready to go.
Let's go.
And 5 or anything in between basically means go. We have a bonus for you, of course we do.
Yes.
So the bonus one for today is the squircle.
And this, I would say, is not just slang in terms of terminology.
No.
But it's also like the slang of ballet steps.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. It's not an official classical step.
It's
but
not.
you'll at least do one. Probably in your grand battement.
The squircle is definitely like an unofficial ballet step.
A universally acknowledged honorary ballet step.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't have an official name, although every single teacher has its own way of referring to it. I've heard people say they call it the Broadway because it kind of looks like, you know, I don't know, something that you would do in a Broadway number. Some people will call it the in and out.
Oh yes, yes.
There's a lot of
I've
different
heard that
ways.
one.
There's a lot of ways to refer to this little step.
A squircle or an in and out is basically just that. You would start with a grand battement to the side, and then you would turn your leg in, then turn it out again, and go up to another grand battement to the side, and then close.
We grew up calling it the squircle. We think it makes sense. It's a squiggle.
It's a squiggle
And a
circle.
so
Squircle.
it's a squircle. In and out also makes sense. The Broadway makes sense. This is like the step that has the most slang attached to it because it is not an official ballet step.
It is the slang of the ballet steps.
Exactly. The step in itself is a slang step.
Yeah.
So there you go. The squircle.
I personally am a huge fan of squircles.
Oh, we love the squircle.
I love them.
It feels good in your hips.
Yeah, it does. It just like
so good. Yeah, no,
Squircle fans unite.
Squircle fans. But yeah, make sure you let us know, what do you call the squircle in and out Broadway, whatever it is. Let us know what you call it, what your studio calls it, what other strange ways you use to refer to this step. Let us know. So And there you have it, everybody. That was, I think, 8 ballet slang terms. Hopefully this can help you if you're just getting started in ballet, or if you're just watching on the internet and you're like, oh, what does this mean? What does that mean? Hopefully this video could make a little bit more sense of it for you.
If you want to know more niche ballet culture things,
Yes.
we have a playlist up here. I think we have fashion videos in there, we have etiquette videos in there.
Yeah.
The kind of stuff that you won't learn unless you've spent a lifetime in this beautiful world of ballet that we inhabit. Whether you're a dancer or not, if you just want to know niche ballet culture-y things, that's the place to go.
If you like the video, of course, like the video. And if you want to see more videos like this, then make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss it.
Huge thank you to all of our patrons right here on the screen. These lovely angels who are making our world go round currently. And if you also are a fan of the work that we do, bringing hot, fresh Ballet Nerd content to your screen every single Saturday, and you'd like to support us, then feel free to join us on Patreon. Link will be below, or at patreon.com/balletrain. And anyways, I think that is all from us for now. Yep. This is Ballet Rain signing off. Until the next video. Bye. Last video of the day, you guys. Last video. One more. I was born for this. It is my destiny. It is my fate. All I have left to do is walk in it.
That was extremely poetic for a Monday afternoon.
You know what? It's terrible when I have a headache because I make sure everyone else has just as much of a headache. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. That was unconscious.